But here's the thing, though. Cleveland going into Kansas City, man. I I don't know. Like the Chiefs are just that much of a machine. And when they're not like methodical and not explosive on offense, it's because they just don't feel like being methodical and explosive like against the Atlanta Falcons. So
Yeah.
yeah, just I that's going to be a tough matchup for the Cleveland Browns, of course, and a real test for them.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly speaking, I know I kind of I if the one saving grace is that Kevin Stefanski is back, right? And I think Cleveland. Talk with. Expect Kansas City to win. I'm going to predict Kansas City is going to win, right? But I don't think it's going to be as big of a blowout as people think it's going to be. I think Cleveland can hang with Kansas City, right? Now, Cleveland secondary. I'm not too sure Denzel Ward is going to be back or not, but I think Myles Garrett, if he can cause some havoc in the backfield against Patrick Mahomes, right? I can see, and then that rushing attack, of course, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, right? And Baker's playing very good. He's playing very smart right now, right? And Jarvis Landry is a very tough receiver. He's a very, very tough receiver. I can see this game, them giving Kansas City a little bit of a scare.
Yeah, and we'll just we'll make the clear transition. We're gonna go right into our predictions. Why not?
Yeah,
So
let's
so
slide into it.
you say you took Kansas City, and like yeah, I'm honestly I'm gonna just I'll say my picks. I'll save them for later instead of just spoil it. But anyway, in this game, it's gonna go one of two ways. Either number one, Kansas City will be a little bit rusty like they were last year against the Houston Texans, and the Cleveland Browns are gonna take it to them by running the ball with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, like you said. Baker will find Jarvis Landry, even maybe Austin Hooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones for a couple of TDs early, but then Kansas City's going to wake up. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. They're going to get going, and they're going to do what the Chiefs are supposed to do, and they will come back and it'll be a pretty much at least a touchdown game by the third quarter for the Chiefs. They'll be leading by at least a touchdown by the third quarter and probably win by a good 8 to 10 in the fourth quarter late. Or the Cleveland Browns are going to do what they've done to the Dallas Cowboys, to the Tennessee Titans, and to the Pittsburgh Steelers, where they are going to go up early in this one. Wait, did I just say that? Hang on. So, yeah, they're going to go up early in this one, and yeah, the Chiefs will come back like late in the second quarter, because that's happened a couple of times where the Browns have gone up early, like big early in the first half. Yeah, sorry, that was the only difference I was making there. They're gonna go up they could go up by like 21, kind of like the Houston Texans did last year, but they've taken the foot off the gas a little bit against the Cowboys, Titans,
Yeah.
and Steelers, and it almost cost them. And if that's the case, even if they're up by a lot in the third quarter, the Chiefs are gonna come back and win this game because they're that good.
Yeah, like I said, um, I think I agree with you on this point. If Cleveland could get a hot, open up on our offensive explosion like they did last week or against Tennessee or something, like that, then they could have a huge chance to win. But it's Kansas City, dude, and the Chiefs are just loaded. And until I see them actually lose, I cannot pick against them. Until I physically see a team beat them, I will pick Kansas City to win every game.
Yeah, and they finished. I mean, unless they start Chad Henne like they did in Week 17 against the Chargers,
But
they went essentially 14-1 on the season.
14-1, yeah.
So yeah, and but let's move back to Saturday though. Let's go to the early game. We're going a little bit out of order because that's just kind of how we're rolling today. We're just playing as it goes, and I like it. But we're gonna go to the Packers hosting the LA Rams at 4:35 on the Saturday. I'll let you go first. I know my pick, but you go ahead.
So immediately after the Seahawks lost and the Rams moved on, I was like, okay, Green Bay is just gonna steamroll the Rams. The Rams offense is horrible. But then thinking about the last couple of days, realizing that hey, I forgot the Rams have Jalen Ramsey. And what does Jalen Ramsey do? He shuts down the other team's best wide receiver. Devontae Adams is the other team's best wide receiver. And then the precipitous drop from Devontae Adams to their next best receiver, which is Valdez Scantling, probably, right? It's a pretty big drop off, right? So for me, what is that come down to is the rushing attack for both teams. Can Aaron Jones be that dual threat that he is and gain that yardage and be that guy that they need, right? What it's going to come down to is I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to test Jalen Ramsey that much, right? I think that Devontae Adams is going to be nullified, and it's going to be up to those secondary weapons on Green Bay. So can those secondary weapons of the Green Bay Packers do enough to put them over the top against the Rams defense? I think that this game is going to be a very close game, just like Seattle, because that's the way the Rams are going to play. McVay's smart like that. He's going to make sure this game, because still Goff's got a bad thumb, right? Just come off surgery 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks now, right? It's going to be a defensive slugfest, right? Green Bay's defense is very good too. But what it's going to come down to is those secondary weapons for Green Bay. And I think Green Bay pulls it out ever so slightly. I think right now they're favored by 6.5. I'm thinking like a 3.4 point game, right? So I'll take Green Bay, but it's gonna be very close because the Rams defense, I think, is just that good.
So two things. First of all, Green Bay is favored pretty much by 7 point favorites.
7 now? Okay.
And there is someone that you forgot to mention on the Rams defense who is not from this earth, Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
He injured his ribs in that Seattle game, but he will. I just saw that he will be good to play. He said he feels good, he feels strong. Yeah. He will be playing in all likelihood on Sunday, or on Saturday, excuse me. And yeah, it's gonna come down to the running games on both sides. And I just think that Jared Goff, even with a more healed thumb, he single-handedly can lose the Rams the game because the Rams are good enough on defense. Cam Akers ran all over the Seahawks last week. I hate to remind you, but yeah, Cam Akers is definitely their can be their bell cow running back, even though they don't need him to be with Malcolm Brown backing him up and spotting him every now and then. But it's going to come down to will Jared Goff be able to win the Rams this game or not? Because I don't think like Green Bay is not going to play as badly as Seattle did, because Aaron Rodgers is not going to perform as poorly did. I don't see it, at least, as Russell Wilson and that Seattle offense did last week. So it's going to come down to, can Jared Goff make enough plays for the Rams to win, or to go over the top and win? It'll be close, but can they win? I don't see it. I see Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones being good enough, and even maybe Devontae Adams might get shut out by Jalen Ramsey, sure, but still Robert Tonyan, still also Marquez Valdez-Scantling, right? MVS can get loose for a big one at any time, and yeah, just give me the Green Bay Packers in that one.
Both in agreement then.
Let's go. So now let's move to Saturday afternoon. We have the Buffalo Bills
Saturday night.
Saturday night. Saturday night. The primetime game Saturday night between the Buffalo Bills hosting the Baltimore Ravens. And Baltimore they showed a bit like they were very impressive against Derrick Henry, holding him to under 50 yards rushing. I think it was 40 yards rushing on like 18 carries last week against that Ravens defense. They didn't sack Ryan Tannehill though, but they did shut down that Titans offense and AJ Brown, even though it looked like it was going to be ugly early on. And Lamar Jackson, not great as a passer, but he broke off for that big touchdown run that he can at any given time. And that was essentially and they were also very good on third downs, by the way. They were very methodical on third downs in that game. I believe it was 7 for 13, if I remember looking at it correctly. Yeah. But that being said, Josh Allen, can they beat Josh Allen and the Bills on Saturday?
I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens, Mike. I really like what Baltimore's doing. I am really, really, really high on Baltimore right now. I think Lamar Jackson finally getting over the hump and getting that first playoff win is going to do exuberant amount of confidence for him. You saw that 51-yard run he had against Tennessee, right? That to me was lightning in a bottle, right? How can you stop that, right? And yes, Josh Allen has had an MVP like season. Stephon Diggs has been out of this world, right? But Baltimore's defense, as you mentioned, they just shut down a 2,000-yard rusher in Derrick Henry, right? And they have guys on the secondary that are ball hawks. Marcus Peters, right? Does Marcus Peters take a lot of risks? Yes. But does he get away with those big picks? Of course. Marlon Humphrey, right? I really think Baltimore goes into Buffalo and they win. It might not be. I'm thinking. I'm trying to look and see what the line is. The point line is
2.5 point favorites for the Bills.
2.5 point favorites. It's going to be a one-score game, right? But I just think Lamar Jackson is going to make that one play that nobody else on the field can make, whether that's a run or a run on the throw or whatever, right? I think Lamar Jackson is playing with so much confidence right now that they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. And it's going to set up something that I really want to see the week after.
So Lamar Jackson won his first playoff game, and you know who else won his first playoff game? You
Josh
said
Allen.
it, Josh Allen, exactly. And it looked like they weren't going. It was not an easy playoff win by any means. The Colts
Mm-hmm.
should have won that game last week. They should have
The
won that
Colts, yeah,
game, but
I
they did.
100%
They
agree with you.
just they shot themselves in the foot too much in terms of that stupid challenge that they took. Like that fourth, not so much the fourth and goal play. To me, it was more the play before where your third and goal from like the 2 yard line. Why do you run a 15-yard toss sweep? Like I've said this before on shows that we've done together. Like why do you run a 15-yard toss outside in the red zone instead of just plowing ahead 2 more times? If you're gonna go for it on fourth down anyway, just
Yeah.
run it up the middle, or put Jacoby Brissett, sneak it, or Philip Rivers, find Trey Burton or someone for a touchdown pass, but don't go for a fancy 20-yard run to the outside, lose like 4 yards, and then have to go for it on fourth and goal, and then you're forced to pass it. So that was the turning point.
Frank Reich's got a little bit of Doug Peterson in him too, who he was an assistant under. He does have that sense where he feels that he can outsmart the other team and come with this great gadget play that's going to say that everybody's going to talk about, like, oh my God, what a brilliant play, like the Philly special 2.0, right? So I do think that, like you said, Indianapolis shot themselves in the foot, but credit to Buffalo. Hey, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen had a very, very good game, right? And I really think that Buffalo has a very good up and coming team. I just think that Baltimore's playing with too much confidence right now, and they're on a roll right now. And I hate to say it, I think they're getting hot at the right time, and it could be very dangerous for Buffalo.
For sure, but with that being said, just to my point was that Josh Allen also got that first playoff win out
Yeah.
of his way, no matter how difficult it was.
But
So
was he
and
facing as much pressure as Lamar Jackson? 'Cause everybody's talking about Lamar Jackson won MVP,
no,
but he can't
no,
win a playoff game, right?
sure, but also Lamar Jackson, like that defense. Sure, Ryan Tannehill played lights out this year. Sure, they had to shut down Derrick Henry and AJ Brown, or limit AJ Brown in that game. But Josh Allen is a whole other beast compared to Ryan Tannehill in this season. He's playing, even though their stats are actually pretty similar. I'm pretty sure that like Tannehill's not too far behind Josh Allen, but Josh Allen just that is even more is bigger, faster, stronger,
He's a tight
younger.
end playing quarter. He's a tight end playing
Exactly. Yeah,
quarterback, right?
exactly. He's Lamar Jackson, but also this year he
Bigger,
took that
but not as
huge step
fast.
forward as a passer.
He's a passer, exactly.
And their running styles are different. Lamar Jackson is like more of a like
Speed
as
burner.
as Kevin Harlan described it last year, more like Houdini. He'll make you miss. He'll finesse you. But Josh Allen will just like you don't want to tackle the guy.
Put a shoulder down and just truck you over, right?
Exactly. And he could juke you out a little bit, but then yeah, if you try tackling him, good friggin' luck. Yeah. So I'm gonna take the Bills in that one. Given all that discussion, I like your upset pick there of the Ravens, but it's Josh Allen, and that Bills offense is gonna be too much for the Ravens to handle, and they're gonna put up more than 13 points than the Titans did last week. So give me the Buffalo Bills to win on Saturday night.
Final point on that game is I think Josh Allen said if they make it to the Super Bowl, he will jump through a burning table or something like that. He said a table on fire with Bills Mafia. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to know though. I want to see the faces of Bills management when they saw that comment.
Josh Allen wins Super Bowl, but jumps through table, gets caught on fire, career-ending injury. God forbid,
Yeah.
but he'll be a Super Bowl champion. But like there was put this way, there was a Bills fan that did jump on a table, of course, a burning table, and he caught fire. But at least his
Bills fans
friends
are a different breed.
his friends put the fire out pretty much right away. But yeah, oh my God, Bills fans, man, just like it'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun for them to win that first Super Bowl after all this time. And but it would also be fun is if Drew Brees and the Saints potentially win another Super Bowl for him in potentially his last season, or if Tom Brady can win a seventh in Tampa Bay. Who do you got on Sunday night between the Bucs and the Saints?
This game is gonna be very, 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 very exciting. This to me, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. I know Tom Brady tweeted that hilarious photo of them on the History Channel. History awaits. Tom Brady's great on social media. I think Tom Brady is one of those athletes out there on social media that he knows how to use it. He does it in a way where even if you hate him, you gotta kind of like him about it, right? I'm taking the Saints. But I'm very hesitant on taking it. The reason why I'm taking the Saints is because I think I think the Saints defense is a little bit better than Tampa's defense, and I think Marshawn, as we know, Marshawn Lattimore, star cornerback for the Saints, and him and Mike Evans, there's no love lost between both of them, right? If you check the stats, Michael Thomas is back, and I don't think anybody is going to stop Michael Thomas on Tampa Bay. But Mike Evans, right? I think Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore go at it. I think they can shut Mike Evans down. Then it's probably going to be Janoris Jenkins on either Godwin or Antonio Brown, right? And I think if the Saints can get pressure on Tom Brady and make it difficult for him, I think they can win this game. And also the Saints have the confidence knowing they can beat Tampa Bay, right? They don't care how much swag Tampa Bay is coming in, how hot they are. New Orleans knows if they play their best, Tampa Bay can't beat them, right? So I think just on that basis alone, I'm taking New Orleans because I think New Orleans is a better team. And I think that they have a better all-around team, and I'm going to take the Saints.
Tampa Bay, yes, they're playing with confidence. Yes, they have that high-flying offense. And I took a lot of heat on this on Twitter this past week, but they still haven't beaten more than one team above 500 this year. They still have not beaten one team.
They almost lost to Heineken.
They almost lost to Taylor Heineke, who played out of his mind. He played out of his mind. But the point is, they were sweating against Taylor Heineke and that Washington defense. And to Tom Brady's credit, look, Washington, that's a good defense, and they protected Tom Brady from Chase Young. And Tom Brady made, I remember there was like one heck of a throw that he made. It was a heck of a throw to Mike Evans with Kendall Fuller or Kyle Fuller. I think it's Kendall Fuller in Washington, draped all over him.
Draped all over him, yeah.
Yeah, and basically Evans just had to put his hands up over his shoulder, and Brady had the ball perfectly placed there. So look, to me, but again, I need to see it against legitimate competition. And I mean, it's not going to be a tough environment because no fans, or not as many fans in the dome, but it's still on the road. And Michael Thomas didn't light the world on fire last week. He had the touchdown grab, but like under 100 yards receiving, and he did have a lot of receptions though, I think, right? It was like 5-6 receptions. But anyway, my point is that these two quarterbacks, Hall of Fame careers. Like, I think they're like 1 and 2 in terms of all-time passing. But what do they not have at this point as a 43-year-old Tom Brady and a 41-year-old Drew Brees? What do they not have? Mobility. But what can the Saints do? They could put in Taysom Hill as a gadget player and just completely, mix up what Tampa is. Like, they could keep Tampa Bay out of rhythm on defense. Even though that Tampa Bay defense is really good and they're good against the run, and Alvin Kamara might not be good or might not be as efficient in the run game, but Alvin Kamara could still make plays in the pass game. And of course, with the Saints' ability to selectively put in Taysom Hill and just keep Tampa Bay out of rhythm on defense, that is how they will win on offense. And again, the Saints defense will make just enough plays against Tampa's offense to win this game. So give me the Saints in a tight one. It'll be a tight one. It won't be a 38-3 or like 34-17 or whatever it was in week 1. But the Saints will come out on top in this one, and it'll be just because they're just the better overall team, and just Tampa is, again, will still have only beaten one team above 500 this year at home against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Pack way back in week 5. So yeah, I'm gonna keep harping on that until they actually beat, unless they beat the Saints this weekend.